Hey, yo, review family, keep it high, keep it tight. My name is Jay Morse, the review guy, and I'm back again to bring you another video. And in this one, I'm going to be doing an album review for Beastland by Author and Punisher. And boy, I found a very interesting album to talk about because this came out on this past Friday, and I just have to say, I wish I would have given this the precedence because this is one of the most creative, experimental, and just made my jaw drop music that I've heard almost this entire year. The only thing that might rival it is the album that Sophie dropped earlier this year, which was called Wheel of Every Pearl's Uninsides. That was it. And this is a one-man project. Tristan Shone is an electrical engineer, and he makes a lot of his instruments. He makes a lot of his things that I believe he calls like dub machines and stuff like that. And he is a one-man industrial doom metal band from San Diego, and this is his 8th studio-length album, and it's his first on Relapse Records. And on the front of the experimentation side, you will get that from the moment you listen to the first track entitled Pharmacide. You are going to understand that this is an album that is going for something more. And I'm not familiar with his previous work, but for it being his 8th studio-length album, to be this experimental, I give him props, especially being a solo project. And like I said, the fact that he makes his own instruments definitely does give him the upper edge and the upper hand when it comes to originality and creativity, because it's not going to sound like anything else because he literally is manufacturing his own sound. And what could be more industrial than that? So save for Night Terror and Beastland, the self-titled track, which are the final 2 tracks on the album, all of the other songs average 3 to 4 minutes. This is an 8-track album, and it's pretty much balls to the wall industrial music with doom metal elements thrown in. And oh my god, this is just mind-boggling. This is ear-opening. While you're listening to this, you're getting these trace elements of doom metal where it has this feel of just droniness, emptiness, sorrow, just that type of feel. But you're also getting this drone from the industrial music and all these whirring sounds, gigs, and things happening in the background. So many different sounds going into one mix, and this is something that I compliment anyone that can do it. Nothing sounds muddied on this album. Nothing sounds like it needs to be higher or lower in the mix. I can hear everything that's going on. Don't know what the hell half of it is, but it still is a great, set of songs. Now, the only thing that I could maybe complain about just a little bit is throughout the first 6 tracks, while the experimentation is through the roof, the creativity is through the roof, and while I love the fact that Tristan's also doing vocals, which his vocals, I should point out, can range from shrieks to growls to clean vocals, a lot of the tracks don't stand necessarily on their own. It's a concise project, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying that I can't really pick out a track except for Pharmacide because it was my first step into the album that really stands on its own as providing something different, something new, something that is wow, that really just blew me away. That's amazing. That's really a standout track. Now, the final 2 tracks do that, but we'll get in those into a minute. But I would have maybe wished that the first 6 tracks would have had a little bit more in the way of diversity. But if you listen from track to track while you're listening to it, there is diversity. No 2 tracks sound the same, but they sound alike enough to where you're not going to pick out a song and be like, that one is the one that is different. That being said, Night Terror and Beastland, track number 7 and 8, are probably my 2 favorite tracks on the album. Night Terror sounds a lot more empty. It sounds a lot more kind of sorrowful. You still get that industrial feel that's on the rest of the album. But on this song, Tristan is growling, screeching near the beginning. But as the song progresses, it kind of almost slows down a little bit. And you get these almost 9 Inch Nails-esque vocals kind of Trent Reznor kind of with that reverby sound in the background, but still audible, that type of sound. It's not as whispery. You can tell he's singing, but it's in kind of a lower register. It's reverby. It's in the background a little bit, but you can still hear it. It's still not messing up the mix at all, and everything else stays completely prominent. And both of these tracks, I should point out, are barely over the 6-minute mark, so they're both longer than the rest of the album. And as for Beastland, the self-titled track, which ends the album off, this sounds like it could be part of a movie soundtrack. It sounds like it is a busting industrial anthem, and anyone that is into industrial music, whether you're into the doom metal aspect or not, I feel like you're gonna dig this track a lot, because it really is just the traditional industrial song turned up the dial to 11 and made it this track. And it's a fantastic ender to the track, because it really does work in contrast to the starter track, which is Pharmacide, which has that kind of starting off epic feel, and then at the end you get this kind of just the best way I can put it is it sounds like almost like something you'd hear for the soundtrack of like a dystopian show or movie, like an intro for a dystopian show. And it ends the album off on a fantastic note. But overall, I dig this album. Yeah, there might have not been any huge standouts in the first 6 tracks, but this is still an amazingly experimental and creative solo project, and I have so much kudos and respect for him making his own instruments. And it's really a unique sound that I enjoyed a lot. It's out on Relapse Records if you want to go check it out and give me your thoughts afterwards. And you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will shout your channel out in the description below. And just, it helps me out a lot. I mean, I've loved your guys' support. You guys have been supporting me a lot recently. I appreciate it. The Q&A video is going to be coming out in the next coming days. I'm getting all of that. I'm getting questions for that and putting them all on a doc and stuff. And I'll talk to you guys next time. But until then, my name is Jay Morse Review Guy, and I'm signing off saying farewell.